Hi everyone. How are you today? Welcome in, welcome in. I thank you for being here. If you're on the replay, thank you for clicking on my picture and watching this video. I appreciate your time. And if you're new to me, my name is Lori. My purpose drives me. I am a life coach who really loves helping people sort through the stories that are holding them back from stepping into their authentic self. And I do that using many different tools. But today I wanted to talk to you about where and when I discovered storywork and how long it's taken me to really come to the point in my life where I'm like, this is what I want to help people do. So I'm distracted. My dog is like licking her paw. Do you have one of those things, like those noises, like if it's a loud eater, like an open mouth eater? Do you have one of those noises that whenever you hear it, it just kind of like, ah! My dog licking her paw is one of those noises for me. She's looking at me like, you are a nutcase. Anyway, story work for me. I want to share with you when I first experienced working on my story, and it really wasn't called working on my story. A few years ago, I had the privilege of being invited to a family constellation workshop. And if you don't know what that is, you can Google it and find a whole bunch of information. But in a nutshell, you get together with a group of people, you share your story verbally in front of the group, and then you share an experience of the story. So let's say my story has 5 different people in it. And in that group of people, we each take a role or play a character from my personal story. Everyone in the room plays out my story kind of in front of me. And you would sit and you would watch the people playing the roles of the people in your story, and they would express how they're feeling. They would tap into their intuition and say, I am feeling this, and I want to do this, and I want to be closer to you, but I don't feel comfortable doing that. It was one of the most powerful afternoons of my life, and it changed me forever. And that was years ago, and I'm to a point now where I realize how powerful our stories are. On that day, I left feeling no longer small. I remember being in the room and participating in different experiences, and I distinctly felt how small I felt as a person around everyone. I shrunk down energetically around people. I lacked confidence. I lacked direction. I lacked a whole bunch of things because I didn't deal with my story. I didn't release my story. I didn't allow my story to be there and pull back from it and really understand the lessons, and then the perspectives of the other people or characters in my story. And at the end of that session, at the end of that afternoon, I was able to really pull back and learn and grow and expand my awareness. I no longer felt small. And that, I am not kidding you. For 2 days, I was like, I cannot believe this process has changed me so much. Now, fast forward, here we are, 3 years later, I'm finally embracing that I really want to help people sort through their stories. It has finally come to my awareness that this might be my gift. And a year from now, I might have another gift to share. But right now, in this present moment, my gift is to help people work through their stories. Every thought, every feeling, every emotion that we experience, our stories attached to it. And then they filter our perception. You could be experiencing something at work today and somebody says something to you and you have a thought about it, you have a feeling about it, you can feel the sensations rising in your body, all of your old stories come back. Your feelings and thoughts and emotions and sensations are because you had an experience. Whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, you can have a good experience and still, that's an attachment as well. But if you have an experience that is holding you back from stepping into your authentic self, or taking I want to say risk, but taking a leap of faith into doing something, if you have all these stories that are coming up for you and holding you back from doing something amazing, it is time for you to look at those stories. It is time for you to be able to write them out and learn how to learn and grow from them. Learn how to see the perspective of the other angles of your story, and then to release it. Your story might come back up again, and there might be something more for you to learn. But if you can shift something about your story to just drop some of the baggage that you're carrying that's preventing you from doing an amazing thing to help this world, let's do that. This whole month I'm going to be talking about stories and different tools that I use to help shift through my stories, because I have a lot of them. I deal with stories every day. Every day stories come up for me. But now I'm at a place where I'm like, oh, let's see, what do I have to learn here? It takes a little while to get there, and it's kind of intimidating to be there some days. But today I was listening to Kyle Cease, and he was talking about stories, and I'm like, whoa. It's funny to me, when I want to share about stories and then I turn something on to listen to, I always feel validated when the universe gives me something to validate my topic. And he was talking about stories today and kind of how our stories hold us back. Because I want to quote him, but I might be quoting him not verbatim. But he said, our minds are constantly using our stories to look for something that's wrong. Oh, no, let me take all that back. This was it. Our minds look for the things we have to lose. And I thought, wow, isn't that amazing? Our minds look for the things we have to lose. And I thought, wow, that is so true for me. Because when I'm experiencing something and I'm afraid to take a leap, I was afraid to take a leap to do this energetic wardrobe thing that I'm doing. I'm afraid to take a leap to come on here and share this stuff. And when I pause and I'm like, my mind is looking at all the things that I could lose. My mind is like, what are people going to think? Nobody's going to believe you. You're just silly for doing all this stuff. What if you share too much? What if my mind starts looking at all this stuff? Because there's a protection mechanism. I have stories where people have said, you're a wacko, or, I don't believe in what you're doing. And all of those stories have baggage, and I'm carrying them with me. But when I can take a moment and just challenge my ego when it's saying to me, what if this bad thing will happen? Because I have all the stories. When I take a moment to challenge it and say, well, what if this amazing thing happens? What if I say something today that shifts someone to to give them the push that they need to just try something new? What if I say something today that makes someone pause and be like, okay, this is what I'm thinking right now, but what's the perspective of the other person I'm having a conflict with? Can that help me understand their reaction to my action? That is my goal. My goal from that day that 2 or 3 years ago, when I walked out of that workshop, I said, I want to do this. Hi, Denise, welcome in. I said, I want to help people with all of their stories, to help shift them, to help move them a little bit, shake the tree, if you will, and see what falls out. What do we have to learn? How can we grow? What are the good things? Let's look for the good things that could happen, not always the bad. Our brains do that. Our egos do that to protect us. They don't want to, we've had an experience, and I feel like I'm focusing on bad experiences today, but we have an experience that affected us in a negative way. Our brain will go, hold on, remember this happened before? It protects you. It's like when you're a kid and you touch a hot stove and your brain remembers and you have a physical sensation of how that felt. You're not going to do it again. Our bodies, our brains, our chakras, our energy stores all that information. So if you're having an experience, it's going to say, hey, remember this happened before. Denise says the stories are amazing when we step back to look at them. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I wanted to share with you where my story work began years ago and how it shifted me. And I hope you follow me this month. I want to continue to share about stories and give you a little bits of tools that you can implement into your daily life. I do that every day. I step back and I'm like, all right, let's take a break here because I can hear all the hamster wheels of. I swear I must have like 10 egos and they're all running at the same speed. And then I'm like, all right, feeling a bit where I need to pause, breathe, and just start asking myself some intuitive questions. So thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate you being here. Again, my name is Lori. Thank you for being here again. If you found this message helpful, share it out. Follow me. Join my Facebook group. It's called Life with Purpose. I'll put some comments in below, or wherever you're watching this. There's links in my bios, and you can find me. Just look for My Purpose Drives Me anywhere, and I will direct you where you can find me on a daily basis. I really felt called to say all that today. Thank you for your patience and your attention. Have a wonderful day. Bye.